good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show, the last Sunday in 2024. Man, a few more days, and this year is gone, over, a wrap, you know. But as my mama and my late mama would say, boy, a lot of water got to pass under the bridge between now and Wednesday. So don't count yourself out. Don't give up. God still got some miracles in 2024. Let me say that again. God still got some miracles in 2024. So don't count yourself out. Okay? Don't count yourself out, man. All right? Even though it might have been one of the roughest years of your life, but these last 3 days could be the best days of the whole year. Because all it takes is 1 minute. That's all it's going to take is a minute, man, for your life to change. You know, for your blessings to start flowing. All it takes is a minute. And remember that remember that scripture in the Bible that say, don't grow weary in well-doing, because you will reap if you faint not. See, a lot of people, because it's only a few days left in 2024, have grown weary in doing good because they haven't gotten the results that they think they should be getting for the good that they have done. Maybe it's because you got an agenda. Maybe it's because you got a string attached to the good that you're doing, which is why you haven't seen the results. That you, well, what do you mean? I got a string. Well, you know, if I do this, then, you know, this is supposed to happen to me. But not in that order, because let me tell you something. That good that you might be doing, that you haven't seen, could be for your children, your grandchildren, or your great-great-great-grandchildren, somebody that you might not ever get a chance to see. And you might be doing some good for them. So when they find themselves in that particular predicament because of what you did, they'll benefit from it. Remember, curses can pass down to the third or fourth generation. Well, if curses can pass down, how come blessings can't? How come blessings can't pass down? So all the good that you do might not be for you. It could be for some kids you'll never even see. You're doing it for them. But because you only see, man, you know, it's amazing how some people that, you know, they just can't see the future. They are building the viewing stand at the White House and on the north side. So Pennsylvania Avenue is closed off. And the spot where you can come and see a little bit of the White House, they have a cruiser sitting there, a Secret Service car. And I tell people every day, you know, Imagine what this car is going to look like in 20 years. Now, you upset because you don't have a good view of the White House, but yet you got a car with Secret Service, United Secret Service, you know, on it, everything, emblem, all of that. They're sitting in front of you. I said, imagine what that car is going to look like in 20 years. It ain't going to look like that. And you got your children here, and you upset. Why don't you take a picture with your children by the car? So when they become adults, they got a picture with something that's an antique, a classic. And people don't even think like that. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm saying that car is going to become a classic. And you upset because you don't have a real good view of the White House, but you got a car sitting right here that one day is going to be a classic. And you got your children with it, and you don't even want to stand your children, and it ain't going to cost you nothing to stand your children next to the car so that 10, 15, 20 years down the road, we don't know what these cars are going to be doing, what they're going to look like. And they got a picture with one. I said, but most of y'all think, I tell them, I live here, so I can come down here every day. A lot of y'all, and you mad because you can't get a good view of the White House, but you picked the wrong time to come. What are you mad at? You picked the wrong time to come. Plain and simple. That was your planning that didn't work. So don't be upset, man. Try to make the best out of what's presented with you. And you know, I was on the other side, which is the south side, which has the best view. But you know, the guy told me, he said, listen, you can come down here and talk, but you can't play no music. All right, well, okay, let me go back on the other side. Let me go back on the side where at least I can play some music, you know, and try to entertain people. And I tell them, listen, I know you're disappointed. I know it's a point of frustration for you. And I'm just here trying to ease some of that, take the sting out of that disappointment by playing some music, playing your national anthem, and entertaining you. That's why I'm here. I'm just trying to take the sting out of this disappointment that you're going through. You know, and you know, some appreciate it, some don't. But I'm still doing something good. So as long as I can during the course of the day, man, go and have an impact on people, whether they appreciate it or not. What have I lost? Nothing. Because I'm putting some positive energy into the universe. That's all I go down every day, man, is try to and have to overlook the rejection. You know, have to overlook people ignoring you. And you can't miss me because my music is blasting. But some folk will walk by you and don't even look at you, won't even acknowledge you. And it ain't got nothing, that's your miserable life. It ain't mine. If you can walk by, you always mad. And see, that's one thing that a lot of y'all need to come to grips with this in 2025 is, man, have a little bit more happiness in your life. Put a little bit more joy in your life. Walking around mad and pissed off, and the only person you hurting is yourself. That's the only person you hurting. You mad at the world, and the world really don't give a shit about you. The world don't care about you being mad at it. You just hurting yourself. Because that's what you putting into the atmosphere. That anger, that resentment. You know, that's what you putting, and that's what you're getting back. So no wonder you mad, because you don't want to do anything different. And if I can tell you one thing, man, try to have a little bit more joy in your life next year. You know, and you need to make your mind up about that right now. Stop being so angry. Stop being so upset. Stop letting people wind you up and trot you off. You know, stop taking it personal. And that's easier said than done, especially when you stuck in that mindset. But if you don't want to change, why should anybody else? Think about that. Everybody else want somebody else to change, but they want to stay the same. If you want a person to change, you change. And see, don't they change also? Because you'll start looking at it differently. Man, I'm telling you, this year, 2025, I am going to have multiple people that want to sponsor this message. I'm putting that out right now. In 2025, I am going to have multiple people bidding to sponsor this message. I was just and God works in mysterious ways. I keep telling y'all, follow your intuition. Okay? The other day, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally get my check mark on Twitter. Go in, $114. All right. I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to get my check mark. Okay? What's going on, fat boy? And tonight, I saw where Elon Musk stated that he wanted to start seeing more positive, kind things on the platform. And now I got my check mark. So I sent a picture of me and this sign, and I said, well, it would help if you started promoting more positive stuff on this platform. Now, if I didn't have that check mark, he probably would totally ignore that response. But because I got that little blue check, he can't ignore that. And I don't care when he see it. I keep telling y'all, man, you know, things have changed. And people are now becoming more conscious, becoming more compassionate with each other. All of this hatred and division and animosity and revenge, that stuff ain't gonna work in 2025. It ain't gonna work. Because we're moving into the age of Aquarius. You know, the Bible say, as above, so below. And a lot of y'all might not even be paying attention to how them stars are lining up. Okay? Thank you, Braves Lane. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. So far I got wow. You know what? I'm gonna have a little compassion on you today. And I think you one of my trolls. But if you get out of line, I'm gonna block you, Bray. I think you're a troll. I think you somebody that I done blocked already. Cause you just made this account March the 24th, 2024. But I'm telling you, I'm watching your comments. And if you step out of line just this much, you blocked. But since today is the last Sunday of 2024, I'm gonna have some compassion with you today. But I want you to know, okay? See, you're coming up in here complimenting me. That's some smoke screen, okay? But I'm telling you, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Truth gonna come out. Truth gonna come out, buddy. Truth gonna come out. It's gonna come out. Truth crushed to the earth shall rise again. So just know I'm watching you. I'm watching. I'm watching. All right? But since this is the last Sunday of 2024, man, I'm gonna have a little compassion on you today. Normally, I would have blocked you because anybody that's done made a profile in 2024, man, they trolling. They trolling. Uh, uh, what's going on, Oz? Well, sometimes you know when you consistent in who you are, you don't see only the fake people change. Only the fake people change. See, fake people tell you one thing and do something totally different. But man, when you a straight up and down person of your word, you ain't gonna see no you ain't gonna be no chameleon. You know, and you got a lot of folk out here right now that are just chameleons. They'll be whoever they gotta be at that moment. And don't mean none of it. Okay? Well, thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year, by the way. Um, but you know, see here, let me give you an example. You know, there's a lot of talk about these uh, HB1 visas. Well, first of all, the government is making a lot of money. Them visas ain't cheap. Let me tell you, them visas are not cheap. They ain't cheap at all. And when you bring a person in here on one of them visas, 9 times out of 10, the company that's bringing them in is paying the fee. That girl right there is sitting in the Philippines right now because 5 years ago, she overstayed her visa. And when we realized it had expired, we went back to try to extend it and couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford it. And seeing with these visas, you know, ain't no such thing as no oops, I'm sorry. You make a mistake, you're gonna have to start over from scratch, buddy. That fee that you paid for that first time when you made that mistake is gone. You're gonna have to pay that fee over again. Okay? So the government is making a lot of money off these visas. Okay? They making a lot of money. And the problem I have is how come they ain't trying to give Americans these jobs? You gonna tell me we ain't got no Americans qualified to do this work? I mean, think about that for a minute. Out of the 400 million people, however many millions of people in the United States, no Americans are qualified to do this work? That you got to bring in these foreigners? And we ain't got nobody in America, nobody, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. No, they say the Americans are lazy. They lump everybody together and say the American workforce is lazy. And you gonna tell me ain't nobody in their American workforce qualified to do this work? That you gotta bring in these foreigners and give them the work? Something wrong with that, man. Something's wrong with that. And you ain't even willing to give an American a chance. And some of these same Americans are responsible for you being in office. And you're not even willing to give them a chance. Write them off right off the break. And that's basically what they've done. They've written off the American workforce right off the break. See, they used to say it was black folk that were lazy. But now they're saying it's Americans that are lazy, the American people. And when you start talking about using that term, the American people, them white people they talking about. Them white folk they talking about. When every time you hear the term American people, they ain't talking about black folk. They talking about white people. Okay, and you gonna tell me ain't none of them qualified? No American is qualified to do this work. And the reason why no Americans are qualified, because see, you can't hold nothing over their head. See, them people that's coming here with these visas, see, they can hold that over their head. They're gonna do whatever they told to do. And they ain't gonna rock the boat. Because you got that visa over their head. And you can work them like Hebrew slaves. And they ain't gonna complain. Because you got that visa that you're using it over their head. And with the threat that if you don't want to comply, we'll send you back. And see, and most of them people that they bring it into the country want to get away from wherever they are anyway. See, they want to be able to get away from, man, shit. Look how many people in India. You think if they got a chance, some of them live worse than you do. And yet, when they come to America, they look down on you and they even got a pot to piss in and got the nerve to look down on you. Think they're better than you. Because, see, you don't know the environment that they came from. But they come over here with a snotty, shitty-ass attitude and living worse than you are. Some of them ain't even got running water and got the nerve to come over here and look down on Americans. See, that's the problem I have. And I see it every day at the White House, man. Shit, some of them jokers come up over here out of these countries and got the nerve to look at you looking down on Americans. And you coming from a worse environment and you got the nerve to look down on some Americans. You know, I'm gonna give you a classic example. If I wasn't married to that girl right here, I'd tell the Philippines to kiss my black ass. Let me say that again. If I wasn't married to this girl right here, man, I would dread to think that my wife act the way some of them Filipinos act that I see at the White House. Man, it would break my heart if my wife would act the way some of them act. And I know you coming from some shit, and you got the nerve to walk around and don't want to speak to nobody. But yet, when you go there, they all smiley up in your face. Man, get the fuck out of here. You come to my country, treat me like shit. But yet, when I come over to your country, you want to be smiling and all happy. And come on, man. I see the difference. I see the difference. And I'm telling you, if I wasn't married to that girl, shit, man, fuck the Philippines. Some of them snotty, snooty ass people that come by here. I mean, I'm like, who you think you are? Who do you think you are? And this is the problem, man. This is one of the problems. But we can only blame ourselves. We can't blame them. We have to blame ourselves. Because look at how we treat each other. And they just following suit from what they see on television. And they see how we treat each other on TV. So consequently, when they come over here, they got the same mindset. So we really can't blame nobody else but ourselves for the way the world look at us. And we can't blame nobody else but ourselves, because we have set the standard, and the standard that we have set is not up to par. Think about this, y'all. I got 7 people up in here. I dare any one of you, name a rags to riches story you know of. Name a rags to riches story you know of that everybody know about. Name a rags to riches story. But yet, the rich is still getting richer. But none of us can break through. Why is that? The rich is still getting richer. But none of us can break through. Why is that? Why none of us can become a rags to riches story? We ain't got to degrade ourselves, demean ourselves, compromise our integrity, lie, cheat, or steal, or deceive. You got girls on OnlyFans that are high school dropouts, making more money on OnlyFans than women with PhDs. Let me say that again. You got high school dropouts busting it open on OnlyFans and making more money than women with PhDs. Because that's what they see working. We don't show anything positive working. Only thing we show working is negativity. You can go negative and get rich overnight. Just like that. Go negative. This boy, and I'm sorry he was black. Honest to God, I'm sorry he was black. But he going around spraying food, pesticide on food in grocery stores. That boy said he was getting $10,000 a month for doing that crazy shit. $10,000 a month is what he was making. See, people will support something stupid They ain't got no problem supporting something that's ignorant, that's negative, that's destructive. But when it comes to something positive, oh, what you gonna do with the money? But you ain't asking them people doing negativity what they gonna do with the money. You don't even care. There's so many people, and I tell people, man, listen, if you like what I'm doing, drop $1 in the bucket. Well, who this money going to? It's going to me. It's my idea. That's who it's going to. It's going to me. It's going to help me. But I'm not supposed to come up with something positive and benefit from it financially. I'm not supposed to do that. Well, it was terrible. I'm just, like I said, man, I'm sorry it was a black man. Because they judge us by the stupidity of some. They're going to judge all black folk by the stupidity. When black people get out here and start doing some shit, that's a stain on the black race. It's not just that person. It's a stain on everybody. If you think I'm lying, here's another reason that people don't want to support this message financially. You know why? Black Lives Matter. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Black lives only matter when somebody white do something to a black person. But as long as a black person is killing a black person, they don't give a shit. Because ain't no money in that. See, they ain't gonna get no sympathy off of that. They ain't gonna get no headline off that. But when somebody white do something to somebody black, then, see, they up in arms. And they done got all that money. The people that got with Black Lives Matter got all that money. And believe it, and see, and it's more white people made money off Black Lives Matter than black folk. If the truth be told, more white people. Who you think was producing that merchandise? See, we don't talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. But that's why when people ask me, what you gonna do with the money? Directly tied to Black Lives Matter. They don't ask me, how you feel about Black Lives Matter? Because I tell you, fuck them. Man, I had Black Lives Matter protesting at the White House. They came last year or 2023. Last year, they came down to the White House. And I'm by myself. A whole group of them. And I'm like, how come you ain't saying nothing about black on black crime? And they actually tried to block me. And I told them, you barking up the right motherfucking tree. See, I wasn't scared because I know Secret Service is watching. I know they watching. Okay? I know they got everything on camera. So I ain't worried about you doing nothing to me because you ain't going to get away with it. So I'm standing out there. Man, I'm going to find that video and I'm going to show you. And they talking, and I'm like, how come you ain't addressing black on black crime in the middle of a Black Lives Matter protest? And when they came up to try to intimidate, man, fuck you. Fuck you. Simple as that. You're barking up the right motherfucking tree. That's what I tell them. Fuck you. You think you're going to come over here, try to intimidate me, block me? Fuck you. I got my own microphone. Okay? I got my... Matter of fact, back during COVID, one day I was going somewhere and I came up on Lincoln Park and I saw this big protest. Didn't know what was going on, but I saw this big protest at Lincoln Park where the Emancipation statue is. Well, see, they was protesting to tear the statue down. Okay? So, man, I got my bullhorn. I had my Black Lives Matter, my DCBlackTours.com sign. And I said, let me go over here and see what's going on. Well, when I got over there, I realized that they were protesting the statue. And so since I got my own bullhorn, man, I got my bullhorn, man, y'all full of shit. You motherfuckers are full of shit. Most of y'all don't even know the history of this statue. And you talking this shit. And it was a white guy that they tried to jump. Let me show you a picture so you won't think I'm lying. They tried to jump him. And Jack Pizzobiak, little dick Jack Pizzobiak, motherfucker set me up. I didn't know it was a setup at the time, but he ended up writing a book, and the page and the cover page of his book, him and the guy standing nose to nose, and the statue, Emancipation statue, was behind them. See, I didn't know he had set this thing up, but they started attacking him, and I'm like, come on, man. I tried to guide him, walk him out of the park. And actually, I was walking toward my car. I wasn't gonna put him in my car, but I started walking toward my car, and we got to the edge of the park, and this guy behind me said, okay, that's far enough. He's ours now. Well, I ain't no dummy. Shit, I said, fuck it, take him. This guy, look at him. Look at him. Okay, and talk big shit. He was gonna get his ass kicked. Let me show you. Let me show you how the crowd. I'm talking about, man. I grabbed this guy by the. He's talking about, come on, let's talk. Man, this ain't the time to be trying to talk now. Let's get out of here. It's time to go. Okay, and I'm trying to walk him out of the park. And to this day, every time I see him, Lil Dick Jack Pizzobiak, you know what's going on? Lil Dick Jack Pizzobiak. Yeah, I saved his ass. I saved his ass. I shouldn't have, but it was the right thing to do. And then one of the girls that was on the bullhorn said, "I'll be damned. An old black man is helping a white supremacist." Man, I could have got my ass kicked. I could have gotten my ass kicked because she singled me out. And they could have jumped me, man. But only by the grace of God that man, I can honestly say that my 50 years that I have been in DC, I have been in some hell of a crowds by myself, man. And God gave me grace. Well, a half-ass thank you. And wrote a book. I wrote a book about the event and didn't even say, man, let me thank this brother. Then let me thank Truth Conductor for, didn't even acknowledge the fact that I pulled his ass out. He wrote a book about it. Wrote a book about it. And didn't even say thank you. I said, man, fuck you. Yeah, that shows you the how you are. That's a reflection on you. That ain't no reflection on me. But it was at that moment, it was the right thing to do. It was just the right thing to do at that moment, and that's what I did. Didn't hesitate. I wasn't scared. Because like I said, man, I've been in some hell of a crowds, honest to God, by myself, and man, God just gave me the protection. See, somebody even wrote about this. This is what a person wrote about it. right here. And I'm like, okay, that's 2023. Sure was. And I'm like, okay, if if that's the way it's got to be, I guess that's the way it's got to be. What can I say? I did my part. I did my part, and I can't be upset because I may not like it, but if they don't want to do right by you, hey man, you did your part. You did your part. You did your part. And that's all I can say is, man, I pulled him out of that crowd. Because they was gonna kick his ass. I mean, they literally was gonna kick his ass. And I told y'all, when I was down in when this whole Ukraine thing jumped off, because there's some prejudiced bastards, man. Them people in Ukraine are some straight up racists. And man, they manhandled me down at the protest, put their hands all on me, and a reporter that knew me was behind me taking pictures. Matter of fact, let me show you. Let me show you. This guy, you see how this guy got my man? I'm looking at him right now. If I knock him the fuck out, I'm going to jail. That's what I'm looking at here, thinking, man, if I knock him the fuck out, I'm going to be the one to go to jail. I'm going to be the one to go to jail. And they tried to get me locked up. Look how this guy got my clothes, man. Look how this guy got my clothes. That's why I say fuck Ukraine. Fuck Ukraine. Okay? Fuck them. And all because I'm trying to voice my opinion that man, look how I got this guy. Look at the crowd behind me. Look at the crowd of people behind me. And I'm walking this guy out of the park. I'm walking. He talking about, come on, I want to talk. Man, this ain't the time. Let's go. Let's go. All right? Look at the crowd that's behind me. Okay? And I'm trying to say, come on, man, let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's go. And by the time I got to the edge of the park, they said, all right, you done took him far enough. He's ours now. Shit, I had to say, okay, I'm not gonna get fucked up. And I done brought you as far as I can. Okay? And if they say they want your ass now, buddy, they got you. I'm letting you go. I'm gonna let you go. I've done my part. Okay? I've done my part. So anyway, and like I said, man, the little young girl, bust me out. I'll be damned. An old black man helping a white supremacist. And you got some people down there seeing them crowds. You got jokers that looking for any kind of excuse to do some shit. Any kind of excuse they can get, man. They doing it. I remember one day they closed off H Street. They moved everybody down to I Street. This was during the George Floyd protests. And these two little white girls came in the crowd, and I said, this ain't the place for y'all to be. This is not the place y'all need to be right now. You need to come out of this crowd. And a black girl heard me tell them that. And I'm trying to walk them out the crowd. And she got the nerve. And I'm playing Bob Marley, One Love. That's the song that I'm playing. One Love. And she had the nerve to run up behind me. And I just turned around and looked at her over my glass. Don't fuck with me. I ain't had to say a word. But the look on my face was, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. And I walked them two little white girls out of there because they ain't have no idea where they was. Didn't have no idea. And when I was trying to tell them, oh, but we can, I said, no, this ain't the crowd for you to be talking about you can go anywhere you want to. They'll kick your ass up in here. That's exactly what's gonna happen. You see? So, I don't, the one thing I've never had a problem with is standing up. I've never had a problem standing up or speaking up. And I think that's what make a lot of folk uncomfortable. Because I ain't scared to speak up. I ain't scared to stand up. And most of them are. So consequently, they're uncomfortable. Okay? I make them uncomfortable because I'm not afraid. I mean, when I was fighting the corruption in the police department in D.C., they told me I was lying. I never will forget. Sergeant Everett came over and said, Mr. Folden, we can find no proof of your allegation. But only thing we found was you didn't want to adhere to the vending rules and regulations. And I said, man, if I have to run for mayor to tell this story, I was just joking. I'll do it. And he looked at me and said, sir, you're a street vendor. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. I said, what you say? He said, you're a street vendor, Mr. Folden. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. I was insulted. And where I was vending was right in front of the Board of Election. I walked right into the Board of Election. What I got to do to run for mayor? They said, raise your right hand. Here's some petition. We need 2,000 valid signatures. I went out and got 4,000 and got on the ballot against Marion Barry and got about 195 votes too. At least I didn't lay an egg. Got about 195 votes. Sure did. And it wasn't about winning, but it was about proving a point. You say I can't do it, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do it anyway. And even my mama said, boy, you crazy. You better leave folk alone. That's my mama. You better leave these people alone, boy. You crazy. But there was a principle, man. I just stood on a principle. And that's all I had was that principle to stand on, and I did it, And now looking back at it, this is my mama right here. That's my late mom, right there. That's my late mom. She said, "Boy, you crazy." She said, "You crazy." Okay, I am. I might be, but shit, I'm doing it. But no, man. If you believe in something and you willing to take a stand, do it. Okay? Okay? Well, I knew the police chief. I knew him. Isaac Fullwood. Isaac Fullwood was as black as this thing right here. I mean, he was black. I'm talking about that coal black. That coal black. The Ku Klux Klan came to D.C. in '94. Sharon Pratt Kelly was they came twice. Ku Klux Klan came twice to D.C. The first time they came, the protesters interrupted the protest. And we were at 14th and Constitution Avenue. And this guy on the microphone said, there's a skinhead over here under the tree. Over here under this tree. Get him out of here. And he was pointing at the tree that I was near. And this white guy, man, when he heard that and the people started rushing, boy, he panicked and he started running. And boy, they jumped on this guy and they was beating him like crazy. And the dude had a baseball bat, probably about 1.5 feet long, about this big. Man, he was just beating on this guy with this baseball bat. And I said, man, you're a hostage in your own damn neighborhood. That man ain't done nothing to you. And when I said that, he paused. And I reached down and got the guy and dragged him out of the crowd and took him to the police. Right? Now, at this time, I didn't know he had dropped his glasses. And when we got him to the ambulance, he said, sir, I have dropped my glasses. Could you get them for me? And I went back in the crowd where he was, got his glasses, and brought him to. And do you know, to this day, I've never met that man. I couldn't tell you who he was. Never met him, never nothing. But if I didn't pull him out of that crowd, they'd have beat the shit out of him. They would have beat the shit out of him. And I had a person that was somewhere in Ohio that sent me a picture that because his head was bleeding so bad, man, I took my shirt off and was trying to hold it up against his head while I'm taking him to the ambulance. That's how bad he was bleeding. And somebody took the picture and in Ohio sent me that photo. Sent me it was a mail clipping of that. And to this day, man, I've never met that man. Couldn't tell you who he was, where he was from, none of that. But I know if I had to pull him out of that crowd, they would have kicked his ass. That's why I keep telling y'all, man, I've been in some shit that God just done gave me the grace. Done gave me the grace. Because that was another example. I could have got jumped by my own people for trying to be helpful. And then you got people that turn around and try to disparage you, talk about you, belittle you, and don't know your story. Don't know your story. Don't know. One day, I was vending at Judiciary Square, and I had like a little folding chair, sort of like on a thing of a sun that was low. You know, it was one of those low chairs that you could, lean back in. And I happened to look, and I saw all these people that were gawking at something. Everybody was like in shock, looking at something. And so I kind of raised up because it was a set of steps you had to go down, and I could just see a person's back. So I walk over to see what's going on. And this guy by the name of Mo Goldberg, I didn't know his name at the time. This guy had a heart attack and fell face first and was bleeding like a pig. I mean, I'm talking about a big pool of blood that he was laying in. And when I get over, I said, damn, man, y'all could at least pick the man up out of his blood. This is what I said. I said, damn, all y'all standing around here, you could at least pick the man up out of his blood. So I went down and I kind of turned him over on me, and I'm holding him up out of his blood. And I said, man, somebody called the ambulance, and I'm watching this guy turn blue. Okay, he's turning blue. Died in my arms. Died in my arms. So some kind of way they found out who he was. And you know, to this day, man, his wife invited me to his funeral. I sat right next to her at his funeral. And his son lived in New York at the time and sent me $100. Just had my name, no return address, no nothing. Put $100 in a piece of paper that said thank you, and no return address, no nothing. And send it to my house. Sure did. That's what his son did. I mean, just wrote thank you on the note. Something Goldberg. And so I knew who it was from, but I look at the envelope, man, just my name and address was on the envelope. But it was out of New York. Out of New York. Sure was. Out of New York. And I'm just saying that to say, man, sometimes you're going to run across some crazy shit in your life. You'll run across some crazy shit in your life. But it's just how you deal with it. And I've always had a heart for people. And maybe that's my weakness. I've always had a heart to help people. I've always had that heart to just be able to help people. And pray that I never lose that. You know? What's going on, gamer? Pray that I never lose it. I mean, I'm 71. At this point, I'm too old. I'm too old to be talking about losing that now, but that's just been my heart, man. Just been my heart. And see, and you know, and when people come out and try to demonize you and make you out to be such a bad person and don't know your story. Don't know your story. You know, don't know your story. I ain't interested in, I told y'all, man, my kids next year will be 42 and 41. The last time I saw my kid's mother, they was 2 and 3 years old. I ain't seen her since. Couldn't tell you if that girl is dead or alive right now. Couldn't tell you. She got out, she stayed out, and I ain't mad, because I don't know nothing about baby mama drama. I don't know a thing about baby mama drama. And she ain't no stranger in my house. I just don't know where she is. And what's crazy was when my mom died, my daughter was working for this temp company, and they sent her on a job. And she came home and said, Daddy, I believe I have found a company I can work for the rest of my life. And my daughter is real thorough about her work. And a lady that was there had been putting off an operation for 2 years. And when my daughter came and they saw the quality of her work, they told this girl, listen, whatever you need to take care of, you need to go do that now, because we got somebody that can, you know, perform while you're out. You know what her name was? Same name as her mama, Paula. Paula is no stranger in my house. I just don't know. I don't know if she did or lied. And I ain't got nothing respect. Man, if I run into some money, and if the girl is still alive, I'd hook her up. I really would, cause she did give me 2 kids. I'd hook her up. Thank you for them 2 babies. Cause if you hadn't gave them them, I wouldn't have had my grandson. And my grandson is gonna be one of the baddest trumpet players this world has ever seen. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, my grandson, Jeremiah Flack, is going to be one of the baddest trumpet players this world has ever seen. I I guarantee you, Roberta Flack is his great aunt. That's his great aunt. His dad was her nephew. And man, he rest in peace. He dead too. And he drug overdose. But yeah. So I got a hell of a story. I got a hell of a story, boy. I ain't lying. I got a hell of a story. Yes, I do. And and it's just that's what drives me to be determined to my grandson is 24, graduate of Michigan State University. Yes, indeed. Graduated from Michigan State. Let me see if I got a picture of my grandson. Show y'all what he looked like. I'm proud of that boy. He's a hell of a trumpet player. I mean, one hell of a trumpet player. Yes, he is. Let me see here. I just saw a picture of him. And the president of Michigan State loved him because he would do all of her, whenever she had a function at her house, he was the entertainment. So she loves him. My grandson. See, this was the last time I saw my kid's mom. That's how my kids. I just came out of Chicago, had just won the Super Bowl, and I just come back from working in Chicago. It was cold as shit too, man. It was 20 below zero Super Bowl Sunday. That's the coldest I've ever been in my life. I ain't never been that cold before, ever, ever, never been that cold. Never been that cold. That's the last time I saw that girl. And like I said, she ain't no stranger in my house. I just don't know where she is. And I ain't got the money to spend to be trying to look for her either. Cause I ain't hard to find, boy. You can Google me. See, here's my grandson with the president of Michigan State University. Right there. That's my grandson. Graduate of Michigan State University. Yes, indeed. 24 years old. 24. Hell of a trumpet player. Hell of a trumpet player. Matter of fact, he was in the original A Wonderful World. He was a trumpet player. That's how they got on Broadway. And then once they got on Broadway, they switched up. And the play ain't shit. They stole the play from the girl that created it. They stole it from her. Okay. Okay. My daughter just texted me. It's showtime. The Commanders are playing. The Commanders are playing Atlanta tonight, so we got a little wager on the game. I told her that I'm going with Atlanta. I think that black quarterback from Atlanta gonna be hard to beat tonight. But I just wanted to come on here, man, and just say, man, listen, we 3 more days, well, 2.5 left to go, okay, and you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. Don't count 2024 out yet. Before the clock strikes midnight, don't count it out. Don't count it out. Don't count it out, man. Just keep believing and see. And you don't know how close you are with your believing. And even if it don't show up in 2024, shoot, 2025 can bust open and everything in your life can change. Everything, because see, 2024 is 8. 8 is new beginning. But 2025 is 9. And that's completion. That's completion. Okay? That 9 is completion. And it's gonna be a whole lot of stuff that's gonna be revealed in 2025. Because that's completion. That's what that number means. 9 means completion. 7 is perfection. 9 is completion. Okay? So don't count yourself out, man. And if you believe in what you're doing, don't give up. Don't be discouraged. You're going to have some days you're going to get your ass kicked. Take that butt kicking. Take it. And go and get you a good meal. Do something. Go to bed. Do anything. And get up the next day. And start over again. Get up the next day. You get your butt kicked. Get up the next day. And get back in the fight. Get back in the fight. Man, there have been days I've gone down to the White House and be there all day, man, entertaining people, playing national anthems, and get $1 for the whole day. $1. $1. And people be dancing and giving me a thumbs up. I agree with your message. I like your message. And scared to put $1 in the bucket. And I come, man, bless that dollar. At least I didn't go blank. I got $1. And just keep going back at it, man. Because eventually, it's going to catch on. Eventually, this gonna be the joint right here. This gonna be the joint. I'm telling you. This gonna be. I told y'all, man. I got my my logo. I got my logo. Yes, I do. I got there is my logo. Right there. That's my logo. My grandson made this for me. My grandson hooked me up with this right here. That's my logo. Look just like this hat. That's my logo. That's my logo. Yes, it is. And see, I didn't have a logo in 2024. But going into 2025, I got one. I got a logo. And I got truthconductor.ca too. So I'm going to start putting all these pictures I got, I'm putting them on my website. I have it up. Prayerfully in January, my website will be up and running in January. truthconductor.ca. Prayerfully in January, it'll be up and running. Yes, it will. Or, well, I know it ain't gonna be before, but in January, it'll be up and running. You know, see what happens. See what happens, and that way I can tell my story. See, and if you get an idea, and it's for you, just put .com on the back of it. See if the domain name is available. If an idea, and don't have a long, drawn out, complicated. Keep it simple. Keep your domain name simple so that it's easy to remember. Okay? Keep it simple. But if an idea come to you, man, just put .com on the back of it. What's going on, Tanya? How you doing? I'm getting ready to get out of here, girl. I'm going to watch the game, boy. The Commanders are playing tonight, so I got to go watch this game. But just keep it simple. Keep it simple, man. And again, you know, see, a lot of y'all need to be using these last couple of days in 2024 to start laying the foundation for some things in 2025. You know? All right, Tanya, you need to start laying the foundation. See, a lot of y'all gonna wait till, I was telling my daughter this morning, I said, you know, see the thing with a lot of people, most folk, when they come into some money, they don't have any ideas of their own that they can start developing. If they come into some money, you know, they got to invest in somebody else's ideas to make money, because they don't have any. And see, when you invest in somebody else's ideas, you now have a middleman. But when you got your own ideas that you can start developing, you know, you ain't got no middleman. I don't have a middleman with this message. I don't have a middleman with this brand. I don't have a middleman with DCBlackTours.com, which are the Black History Tours of Washington, D.C. I don't have a middleman with Capital Buddy Tours, which will be the landing page for any Black History tour in the country. There's no website in America where you can find a Black History tour anywhere in the country. It don't exist. It will, but right now it don't. I don't have a middleman for the African tabletop, which is my dinnerware line. I don't have a middleman for the DC Black History tour shuttle bus. I don't have a middleman for that, because these are my ideas. So if I come into some money, man, I don't have to go and invest in somebody else. I don't have to look for something to invest. I got my own ideas I can invest in. I can invest that money in me. And see, most of y'all come into some money, you can't invest that money into yourself because you don't have no ideas. And the ideas that have come to you, you've been afraid to try to pursue because you don't think they would work. So consequently, you let that idea go to somebody else. How many times have you seen the idea? You said, damn, I thought about that, because it came to you first and you didn't embrace it. So it went to somebody else. So if you're going to do anything, and see, and I'm going to tell you something, the way these people are acting, with all these visas and all these cuts and all this stuff, you better be trying to get something of your own. See, that's the handwriting that's on the wall. That with all these cuts they talking about making and all this bullshit, man, you better have something of your own to fall back on. Because if you don't, you're going to be screwed. Okay? So get your own. And you ain't and they can do whatever the hell they want to do. And it ain't going to impact you because you got your own. Okay? Be independent, man. Be independent. Because, see, they taught us go to school, get a good education to do what? Get a good job. They ain't tell you go to school, get you a good education, work for yourself. And seeing a lot of y'all is way behind time of working for yourself because you're scared, because you need that safety net of retirement and benefits. See, that's how come you don't want to work for you, because you need a safety net. All right, man, thank you. I'll be back before the end of the year.